Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing climate change, abrupt climate change, and things adjacent. And I just read an article on this, and here's another. The article that I read more recently was from maybe it was earlier this year or late last year, but this is from a few days ago, Wednesday, July 24th. No doubt left about scientific consensus on global warming, say experts, and a lot of other people. So, not just experts, but it's good to listen to the experts when all of them agree. But they do not all agree that we may be in bigger trouble than a lot of us are willing to admit. That is still the realm of the few, the proud, the doomers. The scientific consensus that humans are causing global warming is likely to have passed 99%, according to the lead author of the most authoritative study on the subject, and could rise further after separate research that clears up some of the remaining doubts. 3 studies published in Nature and Nature Geoscience use extensive historical data to show that there has never been a period in the last 2,000 years when temperature changes have been as fast and extensive as in recent decades. It had been previously thought that similarly dramatic peaks and troughs might have occurred in the past, including in periods dubbed the Little Ice Age. And this is what people like to say, it's always changing in these cycles. A cycle looks like this. Let me get my line straight. A cycle looks like this. A cycle does not look like this. That's not a cycle. Periods dubbed the Little Ice Age and medieval climate anomaly. But the 3 studies use reconstructions based on 700 proxy records of temperature change, such as trees, ice, and sediment from all continents, that indicate none of these shifts took place in more than half the globe at any one time. The Little Ice Age, for example, reached its extreme point in the 15th century in the Pacific Ocean. The 17th century in Europe and 19th century elsewhere, says one of the studies. This localization is markedly different from the trend since the late 20th century, when records are being broken year after year over almost the entire globe, including this summer's European heat wave. Major temperature shifts in the distant past are also likely to have been primarily caused by volcanic eruptions, according to another of the studies. Again, this is another thing that people like to bring up: volcanic eruptions or heat venting in the oceans. It's another dubious one. Lots of studies on that. Lots of scientists talking about heat venting in the ocean. Lots and lots of scientists. Oh, only one or two? A couple guys on YouTube? Yeah, sounds plausible to me. Scooby-Doo. Major temperature shifts in the distant past are also likely to have been primarily caused by volcanic eruptions, according to another of the studies, which helps to explain the strong global fluctuations in the first half of the 18th century as the world started to move from a volcanically cooled era to a climate warmed by human emissions. This has become particularly pronounced since the late 20th century, when temperature rises over 2 decades or longer have been the most rapid in the past 2 millennia, notes the third. And I think it could go farther back than 2 millennia. The authors say this highlights how unusual warming has become in recent years as a result of industrial emissions. And I read a good comment. Excuse me, I read a good comment today. Pardon me. Somebody was talking about, cycles and fluctuations, and then somebody said, we're in an extinction event. Extinction events happen every, 80 million years or whatever it is. Millions and millions of years. It's such a huge cycle. And we're warming the Earth faster than any of those extinction events. Faster. We're outpacing by all evidence we're outpacing it. Every one of those extinction events. So, must be the magnetosphere. I don't know. Sunspots. I don't know. No, it's not. It's human beings. God damn it. The pushback. Anyways, he said that at the end of the 20 years. So, among academics who study the climate, the convergence of opinion is probably strengthening, according to John Cook. So more and more. And you also see this among, people who talk about abrupt climate change. It used to be, one guy, McPherson. And then it was a lot of other guys, Roger Hallam and Jem Bendell, and lots and lots and lots of people saying we're screwed. And every year, more and more scientists, scientists and journalists and people who have been studying this are coming to the acknowledgement that it's really, really bad. There was a 99% scientific consensus in 2011 that humans are causing global warming. With ever stronger research since then and increasing heat waves and extreme weather, Cook believes this is likely to have risen further and is now working on an update. So 99.9. As expertise in climate science increases, so too does agreement with human-caused global warming. The good news is public understanding of the scientific consensus is increasing. The bad news is there is still a lot of work to do as yet as climate deniers continue to persistently attack the scientific consensus. So this is, this is one of the ways, one of the ways that you can tell when something is true or not. If you have mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence and very little evidence against it or for something else. This isn't the same as a situation where it's like 50% here and 50% there. There are cases where I think, there are some, scientific theories or where, one or two people have been mavericks and led the field and said, hey, we think this is going on. And, all of academia is like, no way. And then a couple of years later, they're like, oh, okay, tell us more. But that's not what's happening here. It gets more solid as time goes on. There's no people going, global dimming, solar minimum, tell me more. Magnetosphere, really? It doesn't, there isn't like more scientists going, well, hold on. That's not what's happening. On any level, except for wackos on YouTube that live in this one lane and they're really married to this one lane because they don't understand that the conspiracy is not that it's a hoax. The conspiracy is that they're not telling you how bad it is. That's a conspiracy, if you really want to know. I don't know if I have time to actually read this article. I'm probably going to skip it because I did a lot of rambling on the last article, but what I'm going to do is to tell you about this Canadian prepper. I'm going to link this Canadian prepper video here. And basically giving you an overview of where we're at in the climate, up to right now. And it's all pretty, he does a good job of presenting the information. It's a 10-minute video. It's a good watch. It's very concise. It's not new information. Everybody knows all of the things that he states in here, and that there's no surprises. Like, oh, I didn't know that was happening. It's all the stuff that we've been talking about. But he puts it together in a good presentation. If you want to, maybe share this video, it's a 10-minute thing. So you want to link this video when talking to a climate denier, or link this, share this video with a family member who really isn't getting it, or maybe, anybody who might be in doubt. Link it on Twitter, have a good time. Facebook, Go for it. Try it. Facebook will probably squash the heck out of this video. They probably won't let anybody see it because they immediately are like, nope, nobody's seeing that. I linked a Guy McPherson video on Facebook once, and it was like, nope, no, nobody's seeing that. Like one person was like, oh, either nobody saw it or nobody wanted to see it. But, you know, I tried. In the essence, in the spirit of brevity, I'm going to keep this video this short. So thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.